Yeah, this lower unit should come off pretty easy. My only question is, does that slide up, or do I have to figure out how to hammer that off the shaft there? And that I do not know yet. Doesn't want to go up, doesn't want to slide up the shaft. So my guess is it's going to have a retainer kind of like this underneath there. But we're going to find out in just a minute. I'm going to take this last bolt out and see if we can slide it off. What I was able to do was to tap it and get it to go up, and yes, there is a retainer there, so I'll probably just take it off and then let the nut come off just in case. Now this is just like a little piece of rubber almost. I'm not really, oh, there's a gap, so maybe I can just peel it off, and then that'll allow that nut to come through. I was able to peel it off with my fingers. It's pretty soft. And yeah, so that's going to let that nut come through. That means that should be able to make it easier for that to slide up and out. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to slide it down and run it into the nut on the other side, so I don't lose it. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So I just kept it there so I can keep track of it. And that retainer right there is what this brass bites on. So that little piece of rubber right there is very, very important. Do not lose it. So I'm going to put it up there. And we'll let things start coming out. It's about an easy lower unit to remove as I've ever seen. Oftentimes you got to do stuff up in the power head to release stuff. Now my question is the water tube going to come out with the pump, or is it going to stay up in the motor? I hope it stays up in there. What I'll do is once the lower unit's out, I'll get an orientation so I can see where it is. Well, there it is, and the water tube goes here, shifter shaft goes right down in there, and you can see the orientation. There's the water tube right there. And this guy right here, there was kind of an interference fit, so I'm going to have fun pushing it back up in there wherever it goes. But so let's pop that water pump off and see how bad it is. So those are 6 5/16 screws. So far I've had to use a Phillips head to take off the little guards there, the intake, and then a 1/2 inch for that nut up in the front, and then these were 7/16. So those are the sizes that you needed. And of course I'm going to zip these right off. There's no sense in running the camera. But I did pull off that one tube right there. So I keep them pretty much in the order that I took them out. That one there came from this one corner. Let's pull it up and see. Yeah, it's pretty whooped. That's actually amazing it does anything. But remember, when you do this, take a look at the rotation. It has to go in clockwise. Now there is one thing you do have to pay attention to, and that's the orientation of the key in the slot on the inside of the impeller. You see it? So I got to make sure that's the same, and it is. And then orient the key so that it actually drives the impeller. So yeah, once I got that on there, make sure it can be driven, right? It has to go clockwise. And I use a marine grease to sort of lube up everything in there. And then pretty much reverse. I changed out a couple of gaskets is all. And it's not rocket science. But pretty much went right up in there. The two little pop points are that black tube that goes around the drive shaft. And then the spline, so I just rotated the flywheel a little bit to get the splines to line up. And now we're back to this. Slid that retainer nut up. I'll put that little piece of plastic on there, put it back together, then tighten things right up, and we'll go test it, see if it pumps. Much cooler. Alright, let's turn downriver. It's really shallow all around through here, so you gotta be kind of careful. But I pretty much ran at full throttle all the way up, and it's several degrees cooler than it was last time.